The #1 show on Netflix is a show about a show. And that show clearly had some problems. Let's react to the show about The Biggest Loser. Let's get started. Pee-whoop.
They've changed their lives, and now The Biggest Loser is challenging you, America, to change your own life. You are our new biggest loser!
Whoever loses the most weight wins $250,000.
The premise of the show, scientifically speaking, at its core, is not only dumb, but dangerous. There's a reason why we encourage gradual weight loss, even for someone who desperately needs weight loss for their own health. We do it in a safe, controlled manner. Here, trying to egg people on to lose as much weight as possible and encouraging financial success as a result of it is not the healthiest way to go about it. In fact, it's dangerous.
We needed to burn a minimum of 6,000 calories a day. Minimum.
So unless you faint, puke, or die, keep walking!
I mean, you have to watch that back. I mean, I hope Jillian Michaels watches that back and is at the very least sad, but more appropriately disgusted by that type of behavior. Wanting people to throw up and die when they're exercising for you probably the very first time in their lives is not just unethical. Again, it's unhealthy. It goes against what you're trying to preach of health and fitness.
Was it extreme? Absolutely. But were they getting healthier? Yeah, they were getting healthier.
I don't know, because health is not just represented by the number on the scale.
I'll do it by myself in my car, alone. Like I do probably 4 mornings a week. Not even my wife knows this. I've never taken drugs, but it's what I imagine it would be like to get a fix, to, like, you know, shoot up the heroin or smoke the crack, and for just that few minutes while I'm eating the donuts.
I get what he's saying because he's sharing his own experience, but when we look across literature, the term food addiction is a bit controversial. In order to call this diagnosis as food addiction, you need a really thorough understanding of it, which we currently lack. There are some pathways that we see through the reward system of the brain functioning in similar mechanisms as certain addictive substances like drugs. But it's not always clear cut. In fact, I just had Kevin Hall, one of the premier metabolic researchers of our time, on some research that was done to see if the same neurotransmitters were released to the same level when using an addictive substance like cocaine as when there was a consumption of high amounts of sugar. And it didn't really happen as we expected. It goes to show that food addiction is complicated. There may be addictive behaviors. There may be post-eating regret. Again, there's definitely similarities, but it's not quite clear if all the mechanisms play out in the same manner.
And one time they made us build towers.
There's just one little problem. You can't use your hand.
Carrying food with our teeth.
Oh, that's sick. They know people are struggling and are hungry, and they're trying to basically point and laugh at them. It's ridiculous that they did this. I would love to sit down with one of these producers and see how they feel about this looking back at it now. Because when you're in the zone and you're trying to come up with something extreme, and that's what was working on TV at the time, I imagine the mindset would be different than reflecting upon it now, but we can't be sure.
Hey, you guys, it's the moment of truth. The weigh-in.
I was so nervous about the first weigh-in.
Gary, you're first up.
D-Money. Go, Daddy. Oh, man. Whoa.
It was double digits.
Minus 12 pounds, Gary. 16 pounds.
See, like, celebrating weight loss when someone's trying to actively lose weight could be a good thing. But then the opposite of it, having a fear that you're not going to lose the weight, and you're creating this unhealthy relationship with the scale and creating an unhealthy lifestyle surrounding the weight. That's destructive as opposed to constructive. And despite the fact that we're trying to lose weight, The weight loss journey should be a constructive journey because it's helping you put pieces back into your life in a healthy way, as opposed to breaking your body down. Because if you lose weight through breaking it yourself down mentally, physically, emotionally, that's not A, gonna last, and B, it's probably not gonna be a healthy weight loss.
Doing the final weigh-in, it's just so nerve-wracking. They calculate the numbers, and it goes beep, 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 beep. And then they say, Ryan, you won. You won! In the end, you know, it worked out great because I won. But I was doing what most doctors would say were super unhealthy things. The last 10 days, I didn't put any food in my body. I was just doing the master cleanse, just drinking lemon juice and...
That's not a master cleanse, that's a master starve. Like, people associate the term cleanse with getting rid of chemicals. Your organs already do this for you. You have kidneys, you have a liver, lungs are technically a detoxifying organ. By not eating, you're literally starving your body. And there are some very, very unique exceptions where perhaps someone can derive some benefit from it. But by and large, starving yourself just to have a lower number on a scale to win a prize is not considered a healthy prospect.
At the final weigh-in, we had to do a urine test. And they said, Ryan, there's blood in your urine, which is obviously means you're so dehydrated.
I presume what they meant was blood came positive on the urinary dipstick, which is a test that we do as a point of care test that can be fooled by a substance in the urine called myoglobin, which happens as a breakdown product of muscle tissue, where if you have too much of that, either through dehydration, through extreme exercise, it could actually damage your kidneys. The name of that is rhabdomyolysis, and so that could be a life-threatening condition.
Here's how today's temptation is going to work.
The temptation challenges were the hardest part of the show for me. It was horrible.
There's a challenge where if we eat enough food, we win a prize.
They're trying to tempt people away from being healthy. They're very clearly playing villains. They're trying to make people fail in order for them to become less healthy. And the fact that they're okay doing that, maybe it's because I'm a doctor and I'm so used to trying to make people healthy, but they're just like savagely doing everything they can to make people not be healthy. And it works in both directions, both by trying to tempt them and make them fail, and if they do fail, but also on the flip side where they're encouraging people to go extreme in their diet, even starving themselves to lose more weight. Both are unhealthy.
One would have a slice of pizza, another one might have a candy bar, and contestants are told that they'll still be weighed in at the end of the week. They still need to lose as much weight as possible, but whoever eats the most calories off of this table in their 5 minutes alone with these foods could earn a chance to see their family.
That's so sick. In my eyes, here's the difference between this and a survival challenge like on the show Survivor or Naked and Afraid. Those individuals are going in, at least to some degree, well equipped to handle the challenge, and they're pushing themselves knowingly to an extreme. Here, it's the opposite. They're taking people who are not equipped to handle this challenge and are at greater risk for suffering side effects and are preying on that insecurity, on that physical health disorder that these individuals have. So instead of challenging a healthy person to see how far they can go, they're challenging people who are unhealthy, knowing that they would be having a harder time with this challenge. And to me, that's disgusting.
I can't say that 100% of the temptations we got right.
Bro, show a little bit more remorse here. Come on, be human.
But I can say that life is full of temptations.
Yeah, sure, but you don't need to exploit it, dude. There's other ways that you could have gone about this that were way more humanistic. You were encouraging them to eat. in order to get time with their family. You were weaponizing time with their family in order to force them to eat, in order to force them to fail at the challenge. You weren't saying, here's some temptation because real world has challenges, and allowing them to eat if they wanted to. You were directly influencing them to do it.
When it comes to Biggest Loser, always remember, we were trying to make an entertaining show that was on prime time network television.
Always allow us to make the excuse that we can be shit to people because we were doing it for the views. He's saying the thing that people would say. You're hurting people, you're being mean to people for the views. And he goes, yeah.
I don't care if your neck breaks in half.
You ain't puking, you're fake puking. Now get over here.
Are you going to pass out? Yes or no?
I think so. And producers love that shit. They were like, we want him to puke. We want the madness of it all.
How do you talk about like just so little empathy, so little regret for what obviously was a toxic scenario?
My name is Rob Heisinger. I was the medical advisor for Biggest Loser.
Hey, Jennifer.
Dr. H.
Every single season, I have to deliver serious news to the contestants. It's never pretty, but, you know, I'm not here to candy coat things.
Not candy coating and telling it like it is actually, I think, a valuable trait for a physician, but there still needs to be a layer of empathy involved. So I'm curious how he spoke to these people.
You're too young to have high blood pressure, elevated bad guy cholesterol, and you know what else you got? You got diabetes.
Okay, there was a lot of play acting there. Can you imagine me talking like that to my patient? Man, you got that bad guy
As the show really got popular, some things were being done that I really took issue with. It was scary because from season 1, you have women 200 pounds, men 300, and it just went up straight line up. And with that, the ability to exercise a straight line down. So when they do a physical challenge that puts people in harm's way, that's where I have to step in.
I mean, I presume the entire challenge puts people in harm's way. If looking at the way people are living their lifestyle before the competition, they're sedentary. They're not exercising. So if you're trying to build people up for success with exercise, with weight loss, you're doing it very gradually. So much so that they're not hurting themselves, because hurting themselves would actually create a bigger setback here. In no way, shape, or form am I taking someone who wants to make a meaningful lifestyle change, is perhaps 400 pounds, and telling them to go zip line like that, or pull themselves up on a ladder. Like it's too extreme.
You can't have a show based on weight loss that's safe.
I agree with that. But then why did you take the show? I was offered to host a nationwide syndicated TV show. I wanted to make sure a situation like this never happened. And I said that I have to have a full say in what the sponsors of the show are, that we're not being predatory, we're not making false promises, we're not selling snake oil. And they said they would not give me final say on sponsorships. So I walked away from 7 figures, nationwide TV show. I only wish we could instill that in our young doctors, to make that the line that we must hold for our patients.
You all are going to race.
She's like, you're gonna run on the beach today.
The final mile of the Biggest Loser marathon.
Run a 1-mile race.
Go!
I'm running and my legs feel really heavy, like lead.
My legs are so weak.
That's you. Come on, stand up.
No, don't stand up. What are these medics? What are these physicians?
My body's starting to shut down.
You gotta remember that the cardiovascular system, if undertrained, under tremendous stress, can actually develop a heart attack. There's a type of heart attack called the type 2 myocardial infarction that is basically a demand heart attack, where you just don't have the capacity to pump enough blood flow to the muscles of the heart to allow the heart to function, and it can cause cardiac tissue to die. This is devastating and completely preventable.
I don't remember a lot.
Patient not responding. We need a medevac immediately.
I didn't realize that I had rhabdomyolysis. And rhabdomyolysis is your body's way of saying, I'm going to shut down on you.
Yeah, so basically, again, breakdown of muscle tissue leading to toxicity within the kidney, damaging the kidney, it not being able to function appropriately. Therefore, it could be a near-death experience.
It started with my liver, then it went to my kidneys, and then it goes to your heart. And that's where I almost died.
I get word that she's down and leave my office stat and go see her in the hospital, and she was incredibly ill.
Obviously, hydration, electrolyte management, rechecking the heart, drawing certain labs, culture ponens to make sure that the cardiac damage is resolving. Because in certain situations, perhaps they had a clot that dislodged, created inflammation in the heart, created a more thorough blockage, and as a result, they may need to be sent to the cath lab. But all these things need to be monitored minute by minute, hour by hour.
Doctor's telling me, if these legs don't drain, we are going to cut your legs open so that they can drain.
There must have been a tremendous amount of inflammation leading to perhaps compartment syndrome, where there's so much pressure build up that there's not enough drainage of blood flow back from the lower extremities. And as a result, sometimes they perform what's known as a fasciotomy, where they literally cut into the fascia, allow it to expand its pressure so that the plumbing, the veins, the arteries are able to circulate blood.
Oh my God. I lost 24 pounds the first week. I cried.
Oh, wow.
You were nervous, Danny.
Oh, I was very nervous.
The third week, I lost 4 pounds.
Even when we're helping patients with their weight loss, we encourage them to weigh themselves the same time in the mornings, ideally after they've gone to the bathroom, before any kind of food, and at the same time so that you're getting an accurate measurement. But also to remember that there is a fluctuation to weight. And there will be days where sometimes it's higher and days where it's lower, and you kind of have to figure out what that average is over the course of several days, because weight loss is a long-term journey.
I was eating 800 calories and burning 6,000 to 8,000 a day. When I lowered the calories, I lost more.
Oh my God!
Extreme caloric deficits when burning that level of calories is just not ideal. In the short term, it might get you some kind of result in order to win a competition, but it's gonna overall hurt your metabolic rate, the amount of calories your body burns throughout the day, because your body wants to survive. And if you're burning so much, it thinks that you're actually dying. You can hurt your metabolic rate or impact your metabolic rate by not consuming enough calories, but also by over-exercising, especially when not used to it. And that's actually some of the unique research that Kevin Hall found in his Biggest Loser study.
There was no question that I was giving a very clear-cut recommendation to all the contestants.
Dr. Huizinga came in and told us, you may hear how many calories to eat, but I'm going to tell you the right thing, the healthy thing to do.
You gotta have a good amount of calories. We keep calories at, for women, 1,200, for men, 15 to 2,000. I'd say the trainers may tell you to eat 800 calories a day.
Stay the course. Eat the way you've been eating.
Every season, I pretty much said I was gonna quit unless I got to talk to the trainers. So they would force them to come in and I'd give my little half-an-hour speech, and maybe some things changed. Not as much as I would like.
You know, he was the doctor of the show. A lot of people in the medical profession, some might say they have a God complex. And maybe Dr. Huizinga is no different.
He's sharing science with you. Science, not God, not religion.
No one was going to tell us what to do when it came to diet and exercise.
It's like saying no one's gonna fly this plane. No pilot is gonna tell me how to get to my destination. Like, why? Where are we in society?
It was our meal plans. It was our exercise program.
I love that he's taking ownership for the disturbing program that he created here, or they created here.
At some point, I was given, what were they called? Stackers.
Oh my God. Not only in 2004, they get, or I think 2004, early 2000s, they get banned because they had ephedra in them. And there were so many side effects that happened as a result. Them and I believe hydroxycut. But really, they're just caffeine pills. Like, these are just pills that give you a mega dose of caffeine. I think these have like 200 or so milligrams of caffeine. And remember, a cup of coffee is about 100. So it's like having 2 cups of coffee. And caffeine, as a side effect, can decrease appetite, increase energy expenditure, and improve athletic performance. There's been a lot of research in that space. But God, I hate the way that these things are marketed. All these fat burners are just absolutely disgusting because they prey on people's insecurities. They're not actually trying to make anyone healthy.
I just remember Jillian Michaels was found to be giving caffeine pills to contestants.
Do you have something you want to say about what's happened?
I stand by my opinion. A caffeine supplement is significantly healthier than unlimited amounts of coffee.
Talk about a false dichotomy. Caffeine supplements are so much better than unlimited amounts of coffee. Well, we have to compare apples to apples, not apples to a truck full of cyanide. You know, there is actually cyanide in apple seeds, but it's clear that she's making a false comparison. So it's how much of a supplement, what other ingredients are in a supplement, and how much coffee are you consuming?
One of the things about caffeine, it's not an illegal substance. It's not steroids. It's not drugs that we banned on the show, but it's something that Dr. Huizinga ultimately did not want to have the contestants take.
I broke a record losing 7 weeks in a row of double digits.
Caffeine, a weight loss pill, absolutely against everything in the show. No caffeine pills, no caffeine. I banned coffee because people were abusing it. It was in the show rules, and the patients signed off to that, and the trainers signed off to that, and all the producers signed off to that. If a trainer tells you something different, and you elect to do that, that's on you.
And I believe Jillian Michaels had her own fat burner. I saw some controversy with that. I mean, like, they're picking people who just continuously sell predatory snake oil promising supplements with little evidence to back up their claims, over promises galore, who knows what sort of additives, like it just toxicity, not just from a nutritional standpoint, but mental toxicity galore.
Go! Go!
I never, ever, ever felt that Jillian was ever looking to do something that would ever harm the contestants, because I knew what she felt inside.
Intent and what ultimately actions are done by a person are not always the same. So she could have not intended to harm her participants or her clients, but looking at what's happening here, I don't think this is healthy.
A lot of those screaming scenes always ended with like, and then you did it.
There's a difference between motivation and toxic motivation, where you're just attacking people left and right using personal insults. And I didn't watch the show fully to know when that line was crossed, but just off these clips, I feel like the line, for me at least, was crossed.
In a recent study, a group of scientists followed 14 of the 16 contestants from one season of The Biggest Loser. They found that all but one of them gained the weight back. 4 of them even reported being heavier now than at the beginning of the show. While the contestants all had normal metabolisms for their size at the start of filming, years after it was over, their metabolisms continued to slow down.
I want to play the clip for you of what Kevin Hall says about the newspaper coverage and the media coverage about this study and how wrong it is. Kevin Hall, I'll let you say it.
The frustrating thing was that when we reported that and it got all this press attention, it was like literally on the front page of the New York Times, no one reported it right.
Well, how are they reporting?
They were saying, oh, it's the slowing of metabolism that caused them to regain the weight.
Which is not the pattern.
It's not the pattern. We saw no correlation between those two things. And that this is the reason why they can't keep the weight off. It's like, no, the people who kept the most weight off, even lost even more weight, they had the greatest slowing of metabolism. And so it's not determinative.
I did call one of the producers and say, people need help. And I even brought up, could we do an aftercare program, you know? Allot some money aside from the show, psychological help, recovery, gym memberships, whatever it took.
I can't imagine the amount of eating disorders this could have fueled. I mean, the harmful relationship that you're forming with diet.
Major health scare for Bob Harper, the Biggest Loser star and fitness guru, revealing he suffered a massive heart attack.
The heart attack happened while Harper was working out earlier this month, and it was so serious, it left him unconscious for 2 days.
I get emotional when I talk about this because it was one of the hardest things that I've ever gone through.
I never want to downplay someone's experience, but he's pushed people to the edge, super happy talking about all their struggles and how they threw up and how it was great viewing for the views. And now he gets emotional? Would have loved to see that emotion for other people, not just yourself.
It was only because there was a doctor that was in this gym. He had to pound and pound on my chest.
What about the doctors with their God complexes?
If I were to go make The Biggest Loser today and start over, I'd have the balls not to put any prize on one. I'd fight like hell. We're not giving away a penny. Saving your life? Why do you put a price tag on that?
Man, it took them this many years to have that little bit of recollection. Now we got to be kinder to people. Just, we'll take away the money. A show that I found to be quite problematic that I reacted to is called Freaky Eaters. Click here to see my reaction on that. And as always, stay happy and healthy.